Hey there everyone, welcome back to GameFind, and my name is Dave, and you'll never guess, I am reviewing another city board game called Expancity. Let's go. As a disclaimer, this is a review copy from Breaking Games. Thank you so much for your support. You are amazing for helping us out. Now, like I said, this is another city game, and we have been on a run. There are just so many city games in the board game genre. Not that I'm complaining or anything, it's just a fact that I'm observing. Now this one, though, stands out from all the rest for one reason. It has skyscrapers. And you know I'm a sucker for components, so right off the rip, getting a package and opening a box with all these colorful plastic bits, well, it kind of won me over on that front, just right there. But, you know, I'm still trying to hold my opinion. Let's play this game and figure out if it's a good one. Now, it is a kind of tile laying game. I would say, is it a city building game? I would almost say it's kind of a area control game. You're basically trying to plan out and be tactile when you're placing your tiles down. You're building smaller buildings and then bigger buildings and capping them off when the points are most beneficial to you over a certain amount of time, and trying to get the most points at that point. It's essentially a light game, so go into it knowing that it's not like this crazy hardcore city building game. It's on the casual side, but the 3D aspect is going to have all the heads turning from here to there. Where there, I don't know, but let's go down to the table and then I'll show you the production and we'll show you how to play after that. Let's go. This is the production, and wow, yes, I love it when games do this, especially when they make it a 3D kind of aspect. Hey there, Miko. Now, let's go over the things that I don't like. This bag is supposed to house the tiles, but it's so dang tiny. I can barely get my hand in it, and or when I try to go in, like, to draw one out, I see what the tiles are a lot of the time, so I don't even use this. I just stack up the tiles. But that being said, that's pretty much the only thing I don't like. Now, the scoring board's bland, but it's just a scoring board. And the tiles look a little bit bland in some areas, but again, it's for a purpose. The cards are a linen finish, which is very nice. I always love that. And the creme de la creme, the buildings feel nice. They have a nice kind of it's weird. When I open up a board game, I like the smell of a board game. So they have a nice kind of plasticky smell. I'm not apologizing for that at all. Now there are roofs too that are different kind of shapes, which is important, but I love the two colors they went with right here. I love blues and greens and variations of the two, but they come off very easy, as you can see, but not easy enough that they're just going to come apart if you're trying to move them around, because that might happen. But I'm in love with the production just from the get-go. When I opened up the box, all these are sitting on the top, and it's just like, oh, this game is going to be cool to play with if it's not at least a good game. So let me tell you about if it's a good game and show you how to play. Alright, so you start the game with the city hall here, and basically when you're putting tiles down, you can just put them down on a square that is already built, so that wherever is adjacent. Now you'll have more success as you build more buildings and areas around the city. What are you trying to do? Well, you're trying to build residential and commercial buildings in order to score points, and whoever has the most points at the time the last tile has been drawn is the winner. Now there are other ways to get points too. You're going to be using cards to satisfy conditions in order to get points as well. But let's get more in depth what's going on down here. Now there are two different tiles that you can build buildings on. This is a residential, and you can only build up to 3 high. Now the commercial, it's 4 and up. So when you build a building, it's not complete until you cap it off with a roof. Now the card breaks it down quite simply. On your turn, you're placing a tile, and you'll have 2 tiles in your hand you can choose from, and then you'll draw up to have 2 more tiles. You'll take 3 actions, any combo, so you can build or get material. You'll be completing, this is where you can put roofs on, so you complete any building that you want. And then that's when you can draw contracts, which again, that we went over, are these contract cards, and they have little pictures on them which correspond to the buildings here, and we'll get into what those numbers are in a second. But it's all very self-explanatory, and when you complete a 5-story commercial building next to a bank, you just flip this over and you get the points that are on it. And then the last thing is you plan, so you draw 2 tiles and you keep 1. Now the catch is you can't build a higher building until you build the one that's lower. What that means is, on a residential, I can't build another building that is higher, like a 2, until I cap off one of my residents that has 1. Sorry, camera. Then I can do 2, and then so forth and so on. And that process also goes for the commercial. Now I did put a commercial top on here. The square tops are for the residentials, and those little pointy tops are for the commercials. Now when you score a building, you will get 1 point starting off for every level, and any multipliers will be applied for the building that you have. So let's say I have this tile there. This isn't complete, but I do right now. I complete it. Boom. I get 2 points plus 2. So each one of these is worth 3. So this is a 6-point building. Now, if I were to place the commercial building here, it says negative 1 point. So this wouldn't get me anything. So I get 1, 2, 3 negative. So that wouldn't be a good thing to do. And there are a whole bunch of different tiles that have different variations, and like I said, the contracts I think are going to give you the most consistent points, and there are ways to mitigate where the tiles are as you watch people put things out, and you have those 2 tiles in your hand trying to guess which one would be best. So again, you continue to do this process until the last tile is drawn, and then whoever has the most points at the end of the game, of course, is the winner. And again, you can build buildings super tall, but it's going to take a lot of time. So now let me tell you what I think about this game. Let's go. Oops, I almost forgot one of the scoring mechanisms here. You basically have like the tallest tower and the most contracts completed. You have some of these end goals that you'll get points for. Okay, now let me tell you what I think about this game. Now that is how you play Expancity. Now it's interesting. Let's go ahead and give it a grade right now. It gets an 83 from me. Okay. I had a few biases going in. Oh yeah, the Game Vine Player Award. Of course, it definitely gets for this. Now, I had a few biases going into it. I love production, but this is everything that I kind of review on the channel. It's like encompassing. I review games mostly for the casual crowd, all the way up until like medium-sized gamers, and this falls perfectly right into that little frame. Now, the fact that I can just sit back and kind of just watch this city be built, it's nothing that I have to really think too hard about, but it does have variation with the tiles, how it randomly comes out, and the cards, how you randomly get those, and sometimes you might get hosed. Yes, it happened to me on one game, but most of the time you're just able to see the whole board expand, and if you're a good tactile player, this is going to work out in your favor. Some of the things I'm not a huge fan on is I love building things up and up like big numbers. I wish I could have had a way that I could build these towers taller faster instead of being restricted, but I get the mechanism of the 1 and then the 2 building and then 3, how it builds on itself, so I get it. And sometimes, again, the randomness, you might just find yourself a very advantageous time, and all these tiles like the hospital, bank, and all this are right next to you, and you're able to have that perfect building, and you skyrocket your score and basically run away with the game. And sometimes people can be the kingmaker and my daughter just basically played against me, and she allowed my partner to basically run away with the game. So are those issues, but those are the only issues in my opinion. Mostly I can just, again, casually see everything build, play my game, not really worried about what other people are doing, because they have their own contracts, and sometimes they will impede on my contracts. But again, there are other things that I can do about it, though you do have to get a building out on the board fast. If you don't, your score will creep for a very long time, and you'll feel like you're not really succeeding much. So when you have two special tiles in your hand and you don't have a residential or commercial building tile in your hand, that could be an issue. In that case, if it really drives you nuts, you can just reshuffle and mulligan that. But boy, I'm just enamored by the components. I love that the components come with a really solid, fantastic game. This is one that the light crowd of gamers are going to love. I think medium weight gamers are going to like it, and I think hardcore gamers are going to see this and want to play it at least one time, and they'll be satisfied, if not even more so, on the happier side, because it's such a delightful, fantastic little builder that took me by surprise, even though I knew that going into it I was probably going to like it. So thank you so much, Breaking Games, for providing us with this review copy. I had so much fun with this review, and if you haven't already, Vine Nation, click like and subscribe. If you want to pick up this game, it will be in the link down below. Until the next time that I see you, I am Dave, and have a great rest of your day and a great time with all the skyscrapers that you play with. I'm out. Bye. Vine Nation, we love making content here for you on the channel, and we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so subscribe now and help us out. This video right here, I think you'll like. This video right here, YouTube thinks you'll like. Or you can just sit here and watch me dance as a dinosaur for a little bit longer. You can visit us at our social media outlets, and we're going to be improving our Patreon here soon. That's all for today. Miko, it's time to go. Good girl, Miko.